Hey everyone, Mike Hickey here with Electrek, and today I'm reviewing the Lectric XP 2.0, the latest edition of an incredibly popular, fast folding electric bike. Let's check it out.
This thing really is the cult classic of the e-bike market in the US. It's got a huge fan base after seemingly coming out of nowhere a couple years ago. And with the latest edition here in the Lectric XP 2.0, we get to enjoy the features and performance we know and love from the first run of the bike, but with several important upgrades. Right off the bat, we still get our fast 28 mph top speed, making this a Class 3 e-bike, though it actually ships in Class 2 mode with a 20 mph top speed that can be modified using the handlebar-mounted control pad and screen. We still get our powerful 500-watt motor in the rear too, though rated for a peak of 850 watts, and we still get our included rack and full metal fenders, which are important for rainy areas where fenders can help keep you dry. Though now the bike has a higher IP68 waterproof rating, so you can really ride in wetter conditions without worrying as much, though you should always do your best to clean and dry the bike after deep water excursions, just to improve longevity. Other major improvements include the new hydraulic suspension fork, which actually surprised me. In my review of the original Lectric XP, I said I didn't mind the rigid fork since A, the bike had huge 4-inch tires to cushion the ride, and B, any low-cost e-bike that tries to add a suspension fork will usually cheap out on a junker bottom shelf spring fork, and it's just worse than having a rigid fork since it'll fall apart quickly. But in this case, the folks at Lectric e-bikes must have been listening, because when they added a suspension fork, they opted for a good hydraulic oil fork instead of a cheap bargain basement fork. It's only 50mm or 2 inches of travel, but it makes a big difference, especially when you head off of smooth paths, or even just stick to roads that could use a little bit of love. And speaking of tires as part of the suspension equation, there's another important upgrade here. The Lectric XP 2.0 has dropped from 4-inch fat tires to 3 inches, which makes them more like a balloon tire than a true fat tire. That also makes them more nimble, while still preserving a pretty cushy ride. It also saves a bit of weight too, which is good since the bike actually became a bit heavier due to some improvements in its ruggedness. The frame is now more robust and stronger built, including a beefier folding mechanism and an upgraded rear rack. That rear rack is designed to hold 75 pounds or 34 kilos of weight. Based on the extreme safety factors that lawyers make companies use in their weight ratings, you could probably have a full-size adult riding back there without a problem, but I'm not saying you should do that. Point is, the bike is even more robust and designed to last. It even has hard points for mounting upgraded storage. You can get the cargo pack to add a front rack and basket, plus a rear basket onto the bike, turning this thing into a veritable cargo e-bike. And keep in mind, it's still a rather small bike too. It folds up into a pretty small package, not as small as a narrow tire folding bike, but still quite packable to put in a car, van, boat, plane, RV, or whatever. And somehow I'm not even done talking about the upgrades. There are wider handlebars here for more comfortable riding. And speaking of comfort, you can even get the comfort package that swaps out the seat post for a suspension post, and it adds a gigantic spring saddle that feels like you're sitting on a barber chair while flying at 28 miles an hour. It's an awesome upgrade, highly recommended, even though the stock seat is already quite nice and big. The comfort package though, it just ups the ante even more. With all of these upgrades, the only quote-unquote downgrade I could find on the bike is a slightly smaller battery, dropping from 500 watt-hours to 460. Yeah, it's a bummer to see a smaller battery anytime, but I found that the efficiency of the bike improved slightly, so I'm actually getting about the same range that I got on the first edition of the bike. It's probably due to the lack of 4-inch fat tires, which are known to kill efficiency. So I'm still getting somewhere around 20 to 25 miles on throttle-only riding, depending of course on rider weight, terrain. You might not always get that, but it's a good base figure. And then if you're doing pedal assist riding, you'll probably get somewhere in the 30 to 40 miles, though you'll only see the higher end of that range when you stick to pedal assist level 1. Now those range levels are probably fine for most commuters and recreational riders. For the price though, which is $999 for the whole bike, I really think you're getting so much bang for your buck here that this is unreal. I mean, it's a fast, powerful folding e-bike that's comfortable and affordable. What's not to like? Sure, I can complain that it doesn't have a torque sensor, or that the mechanical brakes would be nicer if they were hydraulics, but that's not really the point of a bike like this. I can accept a few sacrifices like those if it means you get a more affordable e-bike with good performance. And that's always been Lectric's specialty, making the right sacrifices to bring excellent performance for the cost. There are better e-bikes out there, sure, but you have to pay a pretty penny to start shaving off pounds or to spec a bike with fancy components. So for under $1,000, this is a great entry-level e-bike with awesome performance for the price. I mean, this is the definition of bang for your buck, and it's really hard to complain about much when you're getting a deal like this. Speaking of deals, if you happen to be watching this video in the first month it was posted, you can take advantage of Lectric's Black Friday sale, which starts at the beginning of November, runs all month, and for the same price of the bike, you get included 3 accessory packages: the comfort package, the upgraded headlight, and the folding bike lock. The base price for the bike is still $999, but you get a lot of cool accessories thrown in there too, so not a bad deal at all.
Thanks for watching, everyone. We hope you enjoyed that review of the Lectric XP 2.0. If you did, why don't you give this video a thumbs up? And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss any of our future electric vehicle videos. We'll see you here next time.